consistently attract soulmate clients, begin showing up on brand, monetizing on your calling. Welcome all spiritual coaches, leaders, healers, light workers, and practitioners to a show that turns you on in your business and amplifies your magnetism. I'm host, catalyst, and spiritual business coach Rosalyn Fung, and I'm here to journey with you into the juicy and help you discover where the real gaps are. Ignite your mindset and soul with strategies and systems as each episode takes you to the sweet spot that activates your soulgasmic business. Enjoy this light language activation as we begin to magnetize and monetize.
Hello, my loves. Thank you so much for tuning in. I'm so honored to have you choose to listen to this show. If you enjoy this episode, please do leave a review, take a screenshot of this podcast cover, and shout me out on social media so that more people can learn from this episode. On Instagram, it's Bold Sexy Warrior, and on Facebook, it's Rosalyn Fung Coaching Bold Sexy Warrior. It would mean the world to me for you to take a few minutes to share and review this, as I would love for you to spread more love and consciousness to the collective. Thank you so much. And I want to share with you a freebie I have created from witnessing many healers and light workers struggling to monetize on their spiritual gifts because they haven't quite accessed their inner permission to receive the financial prosperity that is their birthright. So you can grab this free guide called Soulgasmic Business Codes to help you unlock the 3 activation codes that allows healers, lightworkers, and coaches to activate inner permission to create the impact they truly desire and monetize on their calling. So you can go to www.thenumber7figureconfidence.com/Soulgasmic, SOULGASMIC. All right, my loves, I am so excited for this episode. As a newly recent Akashic Records soul coach as of December 2020, and it has been honestly one of the most favorite things in my business right now is to do Akashic record readings. So some of you might be wondering, what exactly is Akashic record readings and what happens in them? How do you get training in it? And what is the power of accessing your Akashic records? You know, you might have so many questions. I know I did when I was first learning about this, and it has changed my personal life, and it has changed how I want to do business on a more elevated level. It's been an amazing part of my ascension. And so here to join me today is a very special guest, my dear soul sister and my very own Akashic Records mentor, DeeAnne Riendeau, who is a thought leader in spiritual and business development, whose mission is to elevate how we think and live. She is known as a modern-day Willy Wonka for giving away her 6-figure company called Your Holistic Earth, which is the first holistic healthcare system of its kind. She is also the owner of Rose Hope International, in which she helps those who are seeking more joy, love, freedom, and a deeper meaning in life. Experiencing a life of chronic illness and near-death experiences, DeeAnne rebounded with 20 years of health education and a diverse healthcare career, including 6 health businesses. You guys, she is a powerhouse. She has spoken with me at Harvard University, appeared on Shaw TV, Global Television, and CTV, and has been recognized as a visionary and business leader, having been nominated for numerous awards, including RBC's Women of Business and Alberta Business of Distinction. Along with being an entrepreneur, DeeAnne is a mom of 2 bright kids, publisher, popular speaker, and international best-selling author who uses her heart and her head to guide others create their best life. I'm deeply honored to know this woman. Welcome, DeeAnne.
Oh my goodness, thank you so much. What a warm welcome. Oh my goodness.
As we play this today on April 13th, it is your birthday. So happy birthday.
Thank you. Thank you. It's a milestone birthday. It's the 40th birthday.
Woo, woo.
So
I'm right behind you, sister. So amazing. Well, I feel really honored that you are here. And I love you so much, and I want the world to know about you. And I'd love for you to share your journey with us and how you got to be who you are and do what you do today.
Oh, well, first of all, I love you too. So thank you so much for sharing this message and allowing me to share my story. I think there's such magic in storytelling. So I absolutely love sharing stories. I definitely have a few, as we all do. The Akashic Records is such a divine space, and my journey getting there was very interesting. I'm going to go back to when I was 5. Do you remember the Jawbreaker candies, those hard, round candies?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Okay, so I'm eating one of those. I'm 5 years old, and my dad, he shakes his hand at me, and he says, DeeAnne, go sit down before you choke. And I turned to go and sit down, and I took a breath, and that Jawbreaker got lodged in my throat, and I could not breathe. And my dad comes running over. He wraps his arms around me. He heaves on my stomach, and I remember thinking my head was going to pop off. Like, I wasn't actually concerned about the choking. I was more concerned my head was going to pop off. That's the 5-year-old mind that was happening there, and so he couldn't get it out. And I went limp in his arms. And in that moment, I had an out-of-body experience. I was floating above my body and watching my dad above me. I could see my mom running to the phone. My older sister was peeking around the corner. But I felt peace. I didn't feel the chaos and the craziness below. I felt this sense of peace, like I knew everything was okay and it was all good and this was interesting. And so my dad, ultimately, he used his thumb, which you're not supposed to do, but he used his thumb to kind of push the side of my throat to get the leverage he needed and pop the Jawbreaker out. And he got it out, and he got me breathing again. So I say my dad gave me life not once but twice. And, after that, Mom noticed things about my dreams. I would have really lucid dreams and very vivid nightmares. I would have sleep paralysis and some pretty profound experiences as a child and what I witnessed and experienced, oftentimes sleeping on my parents' bedroom floor. But I started to become a bit psychic. Like, I would have visions of people dying, actually, which was a bit morbid, but I would have these dreams and visions of people dying. And so I would, I'd tell my mom, hey mom, so-and-so died last night. And like, her jaw would drop because she would have just gotten off the phone with, the neighbor to tell us that so-and-so had died. So these sorts of things happened, but, I was raised in a Catholic home. And so, those types of things were a bit taboo or, looked poorly upon. And so I shut that down, I just shut it down, I did use my intuition in through school, and I ultimately became an EMT. Kind of a funny story. I gotta share this quick story because, as an EMT, I remember cause, unfortunately you would see a lot of death in that career. Sometimes the people would die by your side, and sometimes, they would be found dead. And I remember, going home with energies or feeling these energies. And I would have 3 showers because I would just feel the EBGBs. I didn't know what it was. I couldn't figure it out. Little did I know I was a medium. But that would happen often as an EMT. So that career didn't last, needless to say. But fast forward to my mid-20s, I had reconstructive knee surgery. And I was at home recovering. And I don't know what happened. My blood pressure just tanked. It was something to do with the medication, whatever complication. And I went unresponsive, like I fainted at home. And I went completely unresponsive. And Rosalyn, where I went was so amazing. I was surrounded by angels. It was the most incredible experience. These beautiful orbs of light. I can, they weren't in a human form. I can say that for sure, but I can see how we depict them with wings because of the orbs of light and like every color you can imagine. And the most euphoric experience of your life, like take the best experience with the most joy and most everything of what you want it to be in your life and multiply that by 1,000,000. And that was the feeling that was like. It was like heaven, And so as in many near deaths, they said I had work to do. And so back I came, waking up in my brother-in-law's arms who had caught me. And I didn't tell anybody right away because I was like, people are going to think I'm crazy. Like, who goes around talking about like this angelic experience, and within a couple days, I decided I had to start telling people because it was too amazing. I could still feel the energy of that experience so much within me. And so I was sharing it with a girlfriend in my kitchen one day and saying, oh my God, I was surrounded by these angels and it was so amazing. And like, she's asking me these questions. And then Denny, who was my brother-in-law, he's the one that had caught me. He lived with me at that time. And he came running in. He slammed his hand on the counter and he said, I knew it. He said, I felt those angels too. He said, I felt them. He said, I felt total peace. And it was like they told me everything was going to be okay. Because he's like, when you fainted, I started to panic. I'm not going to lie. And he's like, and then the angels came and said it would be okay. And I was good. And so he validated the experience for me. And I was like, that's it. I got to tell this story. I got to talk about this. I have to pursue what this is showing me. And so that's what I did. I started exploring and learning. When you start to get like curious, it's like the door has been opened and you have to keep going, right? Like,
absolutely.
Yeah. So that was what happened. And I just kept listening and kept listening and kept listening. I listened so much that I was able to start a healthcare system that focuses on, the holistic stuff and, was able to ultimately give that away as well. And so the path of discovery has been so divine. And it's so worth taking that step and going and choosing that path of going into our souls, of uncovering who we really truly are and how we're meant to show up in this world so that we are living with the deepest meaning possible, because I really do believe that's where the magic is. And so, it was so interesting because when I started the holistic healthcare system, I was having all sorts of cool people showing up, the healers and the intuitives and all these amazing, incredible human beings. I was like, oh, this is what the world is made of. I didn't know that before. And so it showed me this entire universe that I just didn't know was there. And once I found that, it led me down this path of meeting a practitioner, Heather Kuhn, actually, who was doing the Akashic Records. And she's like, oh, I know how to do the Akashic Records. Her and her daughter came and did some clearing work on my space and crystal grid it. And she's telling me about the Akashic Records. And I was kind of curious. And, she tells me the Akashic Records is your soul's library. And I'm like, your soul's library? Like, that sounds delicious. Like, what is that?
Yeah. Leaning in more.
Like, you mean there's a library for my soul, And so I kind of went in as a bit of a skeptic, but I thought, well, if I'm running this organization, I need to know what these modalities are and what they do, and I need to seek the validity in them for myself. So I took the course, for that reason. Had no intentions whatsoever of like doing this type of work. That wasn't even on my radar at that time, and took the course for my own wisdom. And lo and behold, I just fell madly in love with it. And for me, it was an interesting road because I loved it. But I was also quite resistant in the first couple years, in a lot of ways. It took me a while to get to where I am today. But man, it's just been such an incredible journey, Rosalyn. And so I am just deeply grateful to be able to share in this journey. And I think there's such value in the Akashic Records, as you can attest to.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And you know what? I'm like trying my hardest not to interrupt because I'm like, sister speaks for me. Everything you're speaking about in terms of how you had no intention with the Akashic Records. I mean, we can go into that right after commercial here, but I want to share just how all of that, those pieces around the Akashic Records and not having the intentions of doing that have really been true for me as well. So when we come back from commercial, because DeeAnne, so I'm speaking to the audience, DeeAnne actually has no idea how much it's changed my life because we actually haven't had a chance to chat until now, so real time.
I can't wait. I can't wait to hear.
A conscious lifestyle for a mindful life. OMTimes Radio. IOM FM. Being a radio host on IOM FM allows you to build your show on a rich platform with the power of the internet to fulfill your outreach goals and connect with a very specialized and global online audience, unlimited by time and distance. OMTimes Radio will provide you with web relevance, a recognizable conscious brand, and with the standard of excellence that has accompanied every single OMTimes endeavor. Host your show with OMTimes Radio Network.
Life is a flow, and enlightenment is simply harmonizing with the way life really is. Then you find that life is effortless, benevolent, and free of all suffering. Hey everyone, this is GP Walsh, and I want to invite you to my brand new radio show that's launching right here on OMTimes Radio called The Flow of Enlightenment. I've been a spiritual teacher for decades, and my greatest pleasure is being able to share with you these deep and highly practical spiritual ideas. So join me in The Flow every Tuesday at 1 p.m. Eastern and let yourself be transformed.
My loves, you know you're here as a soul-led leader to transform this world through the sharing of your passions and gifts. You are here to be in your warrior of light and align your business with your highest self. I'm Rosalyn Fung of the show Activate Your Solgasmic Business. Let's elevate your business to the next expansive level. I invite you to flow into a business soul alignment discovery call with me at rosalynfung.com. That's ROSALYN, fun as in have some fun, FUNG, and let's see how I can best hold space for you to align your highest self, magnetize your dream clients, and monetize on your soul mission. I can't wait to connect.
COVID-19, brought to you by CDC and the Ad Council.
Do you feel like your emotions are all over the place? That's normal during this abnormal time. There are a number of ways to cope. Maintain a healthy routine, get enough sleep, eat nutritious food, and exercise at least 30 minutes each day. Schedule some time to talk with a friend or family member. And remember, you can always take a few deep breaths to feel more centered.
Find more self-care and coping tips at coping-19.org.
All right, welcome back, my love. So I'm just about to share with you how DeeAnne has changed my life. So DeeAnne, you and I have met when I was a psychologist. So it must have been like, we were trying to figure that out like 6 or 7 years ago. And it was at a networking event. And then we got to know each other really well, both personal and in business. Like we know each other really well. You know all my dirty secrets. So. You know, we were at our mutual friend, Allie McKenzie's birthday party. It was last summer, right?
Yeah.
And I was like, hey, let's catch up. What's been going on? You know, and you were in the process of giving away your holistic earth, which I love being part of myself as a member. It's amazing, by the way. All the collaborations and connections and networking. I love it. And I was so curious about Rose Hope, your new-ish business. And you were telling me you're going to be putting out a course on Akashic records. And I was like, what? Oh, this is interesting. Because at this point in my life, I think it was that week, I just found out I was a medium.
Wow.
I did not know I was a medium. I knew I'm intuitive, but I had no idea I had mediumship abilities. And so I was like, okay, like, I don't know very much about the Akashic records. I've never had a reading done myself. I'm curious. And so I just tuned in to Spirit and just asked, like, is this for me? And I thought, well, what do I have got to lose? Like, I'm just like you. Like, I love learning. I'm curious. I'm going to go and invest that time in there because it felt like I was intrigued. And so, and I'm always on a journey of, as you know, I'm super obsessed with the spiritual journey and personal development. So I'm like, this is another opportunity. And so your course, your certificate of completion course for Akashic Records has changed my life. I'm literally since then have become way more psychic. I realized that as a visionary spiritual business coach, I always have been accessing that higher realm, but I didn't realize it until the records. And when I was trained, it was like amplified my ability to be a visionary business coach in terms of I see things. Like when people get on discovery calls with me, I see it for them. Like, I'm like, this is what I see for you.
Beautiful.
Vision. And I'm like, wow, that's what it is. And it's so cool that we can access the records of our business, which is a separate entity. I was like, what? Yeah. Right. So know. Amazing. And so I just want to share with you, it's helped with my ascension level. It's really gotten me into, I'm like in 70 realm.
Wow.
And I'm still there right now. I've had a broken open probably a couple times in the last 2 months. Experiences like,
wow, you've been busy.
Oh, girl, I have been ascending, and it has been a very messy and beautiful and divine journey. And so now I'm actually in the process, full transparency, loving what I do in business, but also really, as I'm recalibrating, sitting back and reflecting and really looking at, you know, co-creating with spirit and going, what is it I'm being called? Because all I want to do is Akashic records all day long and meditate and create meditations and all the things. So it's been so powerful. And what I've learned is I have the gift of being able to clear any past lives that are affecting people's current blocks right now with my light language. And like within 48 hours, people literally recalibrate whatever, like miracles actually come forward. And amazing. I'm even still shocked to this. I'm like, what happened? One day when I check in with my clients, I'm like, what? And then also I have the ability with my light language to amplify their soul's purpose. So whatever that vision is. And it's so cool to feel people's energy, especially when they are ascendant master energy. I'm just like, oh my gosh, my
isn't
whole
it amazing?
Body. Oh my, like, I'm like, I could sit here all day. This is a soulgasm.
So many. Oh my God, it is. No, there are so many people who are so
Yes.
divine and don't know it.
Yes.
And then once you can like access that and they can feel it and sense it and know it, it is like, it's like watching these sparks ignite all over the place.
Oh my gosh. Yeah.
Do you get that? Yeah.
Oh, like I literally sometimes have to light language because their energy is so spiritually potent. It's so Christ energy.
Yeah. Yeah.
And
divine people.
Oh, like I'm like, I could sit here all day. I would be happy to just be here all day. And for those who are listening right now, when we're accessing our records of our soul, we're channeling God conscious energy. So it's masters, teachers, and loved ones. So masters are our angels are with us our whole life. Teachers are the angels with us for specific lessons, and loved ones are people that we knew in this lifetime and have crossed over, including any souls from miscarriages. So it's really fun, and every reader is different. And you know, Akashic Records is no different. Every reader is different, and I found my gift in it.
Yes, and you know, it's interesting because every reader is different, and so the experiences can be very different from one set of Akashics with one person to the next person because they bring their own energy and communication into it, no matter, you know, what. And so, you know, like for you, you do light language when you're in the records, right?
Yes.
And so that changes things too, right? Versus doing light language outside of the records. Like you can actually amplify other modalities in the records, as long as you're honoring the rules of each modality, right? Like you want to make sure that you're within those boundaries, you know. So it can become a very niche or very specific experience for people, depending on, of course, the person who's in the records with you.
Yes, exactly. And it's just been so profound. So I want to say thank you, like here on, documented forever globally. On this podcast, you have changed my life. Like just, I mean, so many different levels, DeeAnne, but this, I, you know, I wasn't a total like full on yes when you were telling me about it, but I'm damn glad I said yes. And
yeah, you had to do some checking in. I remember that. I remember you were like, let me check in with my peeps, you know, my guides, and you know, I got to make sure my intuition is, you know, and rightfully so. I mean, you know, but I'm glad you did too, and it has been my deepest pleasure. You know, and I think it's important for people to know about these records. They've been around forever. Okay.
Yes,
these records are infinite. They've been around since the beginning. And so, you know, for people to know that they can access this divine information that can help them and allow them to have a better quality of life and manifest what they wish and understand themselves on a deep level and do the things that they're meant to be doing as a soul. Once everybody knows about that, you can't help but be moved by it, you know? And so, you know, I invite people to explore what the records are, how they can, you know, seek more understanding, and experience them, you know, give them a try to see what they're all about. Because there's such divine magic in this work. There really is. And so, you know, understanding that we can go back in our soul's library from the beginning of time, from the time that we left God or source or creator, whatever your belief system might be, we can access information from all of those lifetimes and understand why we do certain things. We can get more clarity about our divine path on this life. It just, oh my God, the list is infinite.
It goes on. Actually, I want to share a really interesting story as someone who is now an Akashic Records soul coach, is because I think the question that will come up, and it certainly was a question for me, is like, what's the difference between just accessing our intuition versus accessing the Akashic Records? And so for me, I'll just speak into that personally when I'll share a client session I had where this client is very highly advanced intuitively. She knows about her past life. She's done, readings with other people herself. And so this is a client that was referred to me. So I had no idea about her. I don't know anything about her life, except that she's friends with the person that referred me to her. And so she's like, okay, there's something in my past, like the very, very first past life I've ever had here. There's something happening there. Can you tell me, like, whatever her questions were around that first life? And here's my ego going, holy shit. Like, how the heck am I going to actually, like, what? I don't even know what life that is, right? But as soon as I open up in the records, I'm like, okay, this is what I'm feeling. And for me, I see things through my third eye. I keep my eyes closed and I see things through my third eye, and I feel energy and I see visions. And so, I said, I'm feeling this, and I started describing it. And the whole time my ego's like, you're making this shit up. You're never going to get it. Like that's, and she was one of my first readers, clients for this readings. And, she's like, yep, that's the one. And I literally see here in the back of my mind with my ego, it's like, holy shit, I got it. But it was because, like, you can't make this shit up. Like, you literally are in the records and you're literally pick up on the exact one that she knows about it clearly. Sorry, go ahead, love.
It's all energy, it's all energy, and it's learning to read different energy pathways and connect the dots, right? So, once you can see through that lens, which you are, it's amazing what it can do. It is quite mind blowing. I totally can relate. The ego mind comes up all the time, and it's like you're making this shit up. Like, yeah, absolutely. But that's you got to trust. You got to put that ego mind aside and get it out of the way, and forge ahead. As long as you're coming from a place of divine love, it is a place of unconditional love, the records. And so as long as you're coming from that space, I don't believe you can do harm. I do believe that you, when you're sharing divine wisdom, it comes from a much more magical place than we can even imagine.
And so, DeeAnne, honestly, like when I signed up for your training, I was like, well, let's see what happens if this doesn't work. Like, whatever, the worst that happens is nothing, right? And it has literally changed my life. It's shifted me into a higher elevated level of ascension. It's done so much. Like, even if I chose not to do this for business, it has changed my life. And now I really get it because I'm in it. And it's been incredible as a business coach, to offer Akashic records for my clients and for entrepreneurs who want to know and confirm their soul purpose and their direction and the guidance that their guides are giving them. It's been incredible and life-changing for them.
Yeah, I've seen the ripple too. Like I said, it's like sparks are igniting everywhere, and it's amazing to see. And so that's why I think it's so beautiful to be able to share what the Akashic records are and what it can do for you, and so much. Like I said, it's so infinite and it's so divine. And so it's worth exploring. And that's what I encourage people to do. Be curious. Be curious about your intuition. Be curious about what you're noticing, and there's so much to uncover.
What would you say for people who have not had an Akashic record reading as a client, and they're feeling scared? What would you say to them?
I invite them to just, ask their ego mind to step aside, because if there's fear coming up, it's the ego mind in protection mode, trying to protect you. But it is not something to be feared. So you can put your ego mind to the side. I say, thanks, ego mind, I've got this, all the time. Thanks, ego mind, but I've got this. You know, it's kind of like, thanks for showing up for me to protect me, but I'm going to follow my heart on this one, or I'm going to listen to my intuition on this one. And so allowing your heart to lead is a really powerful step. And so, you know, the other thing is they can talk to the person who's supposed to be doing their reading. You know, like I talk to people sometimes before they book a session, so that they can know who I am and where I come from. And I think it is important. It's important to make sure there are people that are not good, unfortunately, that exist. And so you do want to make sure that there's a resonance and they feel safe for you. And so it is important that, you know, you feel them out. You know, most readers will have testimonials. You can do some due diligence on their website. You know, ask around as well to make sure that it is somebody that's reputable. But yeah, I mean, those are the few things that you can do if you're just feeling a bit uneasy about it. Most people in this that come to see me, and I'm sure you're going to find this happens as well for you, Rosalyn, they're referred by somebody else.
I was just going to say that. It's all been word of mouth.
Yes, that's how most of my business has been built, which has been really amazing because I don't have to be as engaged on social media, which doesn't always resonate for me. You know, I'm a little bit more of wanting to get more into nature and away from technology at this point in my life and my growth. Actually, we bought a river float. Did I tell you?
Ooh.
Oh my gosh, we have to talk about that another time. We're going to build a sanctuary. So so we'll schedule that for next time. But so it's been really amazing. And so the invitation is for people to explore what the records can do for them. And, you know, no matter how they choose to use them, they're just a wonderful tool. It's like having a divine angelic life coach in your back pocket.
It honestly is. Like, it's really been interesting. And now I'm just like, is this, I feel like because of my psychologist background, like a lot of the guidance allows us. And then once we're out of the records, I give some guidance based on what's been shared and, you know, around boundaries or the relationship. I give homework. I noticed I'm combining, you know, the alchemy of me into this. And it's kind of cool because it's, like with my clients I'm business coaching, it's business soul coaching, and the foundation's always personal and spiritual as a foundation because I really believe it's soul expansion over strategy. That's why, So,
you know, Rosalyn, you know what? I say fill your soul bank first and the money bank will fill.
That's right. Everything. It's the sexy vibes, right? It's the magnetism. That's where abundance really comes in and pours in all forms. And that's why I really believe it's so important. And it's been really cool because I've had people who aren't entrepreneurs come and just also get these readings. And it's nice to be able to provide my gifts to others who are not in my specific niche of spiritual entrepreneurs. So it's been really cool.
Amazing. Well, I am so filled with joy that you are just loving the experience and the process. And, you know, what a wonderful, powerful testimonial of what the Akashic Records can do.
So
amazing.
Powerful. So we're going to head into commercial, and when we come back, we're going to have DeeAnne channel for us, and we'll light language, and maybe light language duets if you're up for that, love.
Ooh, yay.
We'll have some fun.
Free your mind. Expand your soul. OMTimes Radio. IOM-FM.
OMTimes magazine is one of the leading online content providers of positivity, wellness, and personal empowerment. A philanthropic organisation, their net proceeds are funneled to support worldwide charity initiatives via Humanity Healing International. Through their commitment to creating community and providing conscious content, they aspire to uplift humanity on a global scale. Connect at omtimes.com. OMTimes, creating a more conscious lifestyle.
Grab a cup of tea or a glass of wine and tune in for Inspired Conversations with publisher Linda Joy on Tuesdays at 2 p.m. Eastern. Linda creates sacred space for leading female luminaries, empowering authors, heart-centered female entrepreneurs, coaches, and healers. A soulful venue where guests openly share the fears and obstacles they've overcome, wisdom and lessons learned, and the personal journey that led them to the transformational work they do in the world. Inspired Conversations to empower you on your path to authentic, soulful living.
If I could be you,
and you could be me,
for just 1 hour.
If you could find a way
to get inside
each other's mind.
Walk a mile in my shoes.
Walk a mile in my shoes.
Walk a mile in my shoes.
We've all felt left out. And for some, that feeling lasts more than a moment. We can change that. Learn how at belongingbeginswithus.org. Brought to you by the Ad Council.
Walk a mile in my shoes.
Hello, welcome back, loves. All right, so I am sure that there are people who are tuning in right now, DeeAnne, and wondering like, okay, now I'm seriously interested in learning about the records, possibly becoming an Akashic record reader. Tell us a little bit about how, maybe they even want to have an Akashic record reading with you. So please tell us a little bit more about your services and offerings, and and where people can connect with you.
Oh, thank you so much. rosehope.ca is the website you can check out. And absolutely, I love gifting sessions. So if anybody is interested in listening out there, you go to my website, say you listen to this podcast, contact me on there, and I will gift you a session with me so that you can explore what that feels like, what that is. And so not only can you do one-on-one sessions, but I offer workshops, and I teach a soul care coaching program, teach you how to do the records for yourself, for others, for businesses, for pets, for
That's
land.
The one I took. Yep.
Oh my gosh, for all
So
of it.
good.
Yes, it's called Ignite Your Intuition, and it is about uncovering your sacred gifts. And really deepening your relationship with this beautiful divine energy that we have access to in this world. So, I really encourage people to at least explore what does that look like for them. And so we also have a monthly Spirit Mind. So every month I bring in a special guest, which I don't think we have you on the lineup yet, but we'll have to get you on the lineup, Rosalyn, for Spirit Minds. And so it's like Masterminds for the Soul. We bring in a special guest to feature them, have them talk about different wisdom and knowledge that they have to share on all things. We've had guests on energy, astrology, angels and guides and all the things. It's just been absolutely amazing. So we have that every month, every second Wednesday at noon Mountain Standard Time, so you can check that out too. And so lots of options for people.
So beautiful. Thank you so much. And again, rosehope.ca.
CA.
Okay.
CA. Yeah.
Okay. Beautiful. And that'll be in the show notes, not for people to refer to as well.
Amazing.
That is amazing. Yeah. Honestly, people, go and do yourself a favor and get it. That is so kind of you too, to gift a reading. That is amazing.
Rosalyn, what I've discovered is that the more you give, the more you receive. So,
1,000%.
it feels amazing. It's a beautiful thing to be able to do that. So, that's part of how I want to show up in the world and encourage other people to do the same.
Mm-hmm. Yes. You and I both. Thank you. Is there anything else you want to share before we go into you channeling messages for us?
Well, I just want to thank you from the bottom of my heart. You know, I've always adored you and your energy and appreciated the work that you've done and how you moved forward and let go of so many things. It's been wonderful to be witness to the transformation of one another, you know, over the last 7 years, right?
Yes.
So
Yes.
I honor you. I love you deeply. And thank you so much for inviting me to share a little bit about me and the beauty of the Akashic Records.
Thank you so much, love. And I honor you as well. That means so much to me. And it's so beautiful to be longtime friends and be a witness to each other's journey in such a beautiful, powerful way. And, you know, at the end, it's like interesting how like we don't see each other often in real life. And when we do connect, it's like picking up. And I'm sure people can feel that when they're in our conversation, picking up where you left off and you just flow. And it's so beautiful.
Absolutely.
So thank you.
It's amazing.
Oh,
Thank
all
you.
right. So how we are going to proceed with this is you're just going to tune in and do your magical thing. And then you just cue me verbally when you want to do a light language duet. Would that be cool with you?
Absolutely. I would love that. Yeah.
Beautiful. That's how we'll take we'll take people out of this show is just into this beautiful space of powerful messages from divine coming through.
Amazing. So I want to invite everybody first to ensure that they're comfortable and cozy wherever they might be, in a quiet space, free from distraction. And taking in some nice deep breaths in through the nose. I invite you to take the first few breaths, and when you do exhale, just exhaust with a sigh, letting go of any non-serving energy, letting it go. And just allowing that release of energy as you breathe in and breathe out at your own pace. It's not something to be forced, just simply allow and notice. I want to bring you into your mind's eye. For many of you, it may benefit you to make sure your eyes are closed. And if you can focus in the center of your forehead, almost like you're inside your mind, behind your eyes, and looking through your third eye, through that spot in the middle of your forehead. And as you look through, you begin to see a very beautiful nature scene. Trees and bushes, grass. I want you to imagine that you're standing on the edge of a forest and you see a pathway leading inside. It looks very inviting. It's not intimidating. It feels very refreshing, very calm and peaceful. You take in a deep breath and you notice the smells, the freshness of the flowers, perhaps the moss on the trees or the sap from the trees. Perhaps there's some blossoms that you notice are budding and you can smell the freshness of that. As you begin to move into the forest, you begin to also notice the sounds of the earth below as you step on leaves and twigs, the sounds of the birds chirping, playing. Perhaps you notice a chipmunk scurrying across a tree branch. And just begin to notice the surroundings, noticing the leaves on the trees, noticing the colors, the shapes, noticing the trees, getting a sense of their wisdom, their ancientness, the stories that these trees hold that have watched the earth transform for so many, many years. And just noticing the wisdom that comes from the earth, noticing the renewal that comes as you allow yourself to be present in this beautiful divine forest. You might notice other animals coming, showing up for you, other visions. Perhaps you meet with your spirit guide. You notice some energies in the forest, just sensing into those, if any of them are showing up for you. And just allowing yourself to feel into the magic, the love, the nourishment of Mother Earth. And I do have a visitor coming in. I have an archangel, actually, that's coming in, Archangel Ariel. And Ariel does work with the energy of the planet and Mother Earth, nature, the animals. And I'm just going to allow her to speak through me, allow her message to be heard. Dear children of love, I am so delighted that you are here with us in this moment to share in the divinity of renewal. There is a great renewal taking place. It is taking place within you and beyond you. And that renewal is something that happens infinitely and constantly, yet in your humanness, you are not always aware of this constant renewal. With every breath you take, with every second that passes, there is renewal. And I invite you to explore what renewal means for you. How do you find renewal? How do you allow constant rebirthing for infinite expansion? There is so much you have yet to discover, and as you move through the renewal process, you discover what you already know, what already exists within you. That innate wisdom does not leave and has been with you from the very beginning. It is innate within you, and with each renewal, it continues to expand and grow. This is a very big concept, but I invite you to sit with it and explore renewal, recognizing renewal happening in every aspect of your being. What this does, what this leads to, is an opportunity to continue expanding your consciousness, your joy, your freedom, your ability to serve others. Rosalyn, feel free to step in as you feel ready.
Morakira ni koratia, morakoratia manakia, porako mananakia, tu mananakia, morakoratia ni porakia. Moratia, morako mananakia, nanakoratia manakia. Moratia nakia nanakoratia manakia morako morakoratia nakia tua. Moratia morakoratia nakaratua manakia nakaratua mananiki koratia nakia tua mananakia tua manakia. Morokua, morokua, mananakiara tua, manakiara tua, manananikua. Breathing in. And just notice the sensations that are rising. Noticing lightness, tingling, maybe even fluttering behind your eyes. There's no right or wrong, just noticing what you notice and breathing in to what feels most good, whatever good means to you. We have just unlocked some soul DNA codes, activating you, supporting you for the highest good and truth. So breathe that in. And just notice how you can keep a piece of this experience with you, to know that you can always come home to this place inside you. It's always available to you, no matter what you're doing, who you're with, or where you're at. So you may notice an image arising, or a word or a phrase to support you in keeping a piece of this experience with you as you move on through the rest of your day and into your night and to your day tomorrow and through the rest of your week. You're free to replay this over and over again. Breathing that in. And when you're ready, just on your own time, feel free to flow back out into your environment. When you're ready, very slowly and gently, come on back out. Thank you so much for being here, and thank you so much for sharing your beautiful, divine messages and light with us, DeeAnne.
Thank you for having me. Blessings to all of you.
Yeah, all the light codes are dropping, man. Thank you. I love you very much.
I love you.